So I got a message earlier today that two members of the program had passed away. A guy named Dave. He was a nice fella. He committed suicide, and there was a lady named Brittany who overdosed. That's just what I've heard, and I don't know the specific details. And, it got me thinking about it. Is somewhere on my Facebook page, somebody had sent me a link about the effects that doing drugs has on people. That you know, they say that like kissing or just general laughter, that kind of stuff, gets you like a 100 of in the dopamine kind of stuff. That when you're making love, that's like a 400. I'm sure we'd all agree that that's a pretty good number right there, 400. But when you do something like meth, that kicks you up to 1800, like instantly. Uh, I haven't been a former meth user. Yeah, it gets you by the boo boos pretty quick. And it got me thinking that you know if you're rolling at 1800 and you're trying to maintain that, right? You're like way up here. Well, when you get clean, the peak that you're going to have is way down here. And so you're always chasing for that little bit extra happiness, right? And at some point you cross that line to where, if it's not 16 to 1800, it's just not going to cut it. And, and I don't really know any addicts that say, yeah, man, I want to go get loaded to the point that I die. Generally, it's just they overdose. It took too much chasing that happiness. Synthetic though it is, I mean, it does create certain chemicals in the brain, and it responds. I would imagine that alcoholics have the opposite approach. Alcohol is a depressant. Ooh, excuse me. Alcohol is a depressant. I imagine that there's a line that we crossed also. It is mentioned in the big book that there is a line that gets crossed somewhere. And, our comfort zone or our happy spot is way down here, way low. And when we get sober, we're above it. But when something happens, whether it be losing a job, losing a friend, family member, a pet dying, it's some of the heavier stuff. But it can be set off by just having a bad day. But we don't go straight up to the top. We don't want that 1800. We want to get down in the murky part. And another buddy of mine told me today that he had separated from his wife. His wife wanted no more to do with them because of the drinking. That he was looking for a job and looking for a place to stay, and he had all these hardships on him. He said that he tried to kill himself the other day by rolling up his vehicle into the garage to close the door. As he relayed the story to me, he said, yeah, my car started just fine. I put it in the garage, closed the garage door, and the thing cut off. So I opened up the garage door, rolled it out. It started then, and it was working. So I put it back in the garage, closed the door, and the car went off. I would imagine that's God intervening. Otherwise we'd have three people that I'd be talking about. And I pointed that out to him that maybe God doesn't want you to die right now. So you can keep trying however you want. It's just not going to happen. I'm a firm believer of stuff like that from my own personal experience. But anyways, to get back to the point, is alcoholics are depressive. You know, we thrive on that depression for some reason. We're so used to it. Uh, a lot of the people that have done meth for long periods of time, they have this thing about them where their eyes, even when they're sober, are permanently affixed open. They're very animated in their movements, and they talk real fast. I mean, they look strung out, but they're sober. I mean, it doesn't matter how long they've been sober. It's like their brain has been perfectly wired and permanently wired, to be at that uh, hyper level. Uh, Alcoholics are different. Just they're generally more sedate. Uh, some of them could be aggressive because, unless you address the fears and other stuff in your fourth step, you're going to wind up having, you know, anger, which stems from fear. You're going to lash out a lot. You know, you're going to be just naturally doom and gloom all the way to the tomb. I got some bad news the other day, which really affected me hard because it's a permanent life changing kind of thing. And I was amazed how my brain said, screw it. Just go get loaded. You've got nothing to lose at this point. You know, and it was interesting to watch, almost like an outsider, just watch the way that my brain was coming up with ways to self-destruct, and how fast I could do it. Me being, on both ends of the spectrum, a former drug user and a former alcoholic. Uh, you know, I couldn't make up my mind which I wanted to do more. You know, Fortunately, before I had any opportunity to act on such things, you know, I was able to get together with somebody and talk to them. You know, I wasted no time because I didn't like where my head was going. It turns out the information I got was not exactly correct, and but I was willing to make a mistake. You know, just you know, sometimes the panic button and the solution button look identical and they're side by side. God damn it, I'm going to lean on something. You know, in my head, I was panicking, but frantically trying to make sure that I was doing something, to fight my own head. Fortunately, I didn't go back out. I didn't do anything stupid, but I was just amazed with how fast I gravitated to that. And then here today, to hear how, David died. You know, so that's why I chose this particular topic. Because that's three people today that 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 I knew. You know, could have been fourth. I could have joined them. Could be the person sitting next to you in the meeting room. You know, Sandpaper Joe likes to say we're very sensitive people. We are, and it's a liability. At any moment, anything can trigger some kind of negative reaction. So if you're struggling, as Bill says it, take the ultimate sacrifice. Take the first drink or the first drug. Reach out to me. It'll be helping save my life. Get on the phone with people. Do whatever you can because you're worth saving. Your life is worth saving. If you've made the mistake and already drank and drugged, do what you can to stop. Get back into the rooms with dignity. There's a lot of people that won't be able to make it back in there today. I believe in you guys. Hang in there. Oh, and like, share, subscribe. this video or any of my other videos if you like them. I'd appreciate it. And hang in there, y'all.